Hey guys, in this video we're going to be talking about the Astra launch vehicle company. This is going to be the largest publicly listed space company to hit the stock exchange anytime soon. Yes, I'm excluding Virgin Galactic from that because this is a completely different company, and Virgin Galactic is going to be a space tourism company in at least the short term. HoliCity is the acquisition company that's going to be merging into Astra, and they're going to take this company public by investing hundreds of millions of dollars in getting small satellites into orbit, and the company think that they can massively monetize this going forward and make a hell of a lot of profit for us investors. If that sounds like something you're interested in today, do please smash that like button, consider subscribing to my channel, and I will see you in the video. Hey guys, welcome into the video. So here we are on the landing page for HoliCity, ticker HOL, and this is the company, this special acquisition company that's going to be merging with Astra. Now, it has, like most SPACs, have been ticking along at about $10.50 because it hasn't been linked with anybody famous like Richard Branson or Bill Ackman. So as most SPACs do, it's been at about $10, and then as soon as this merger was announced or that the potential target was confirmed, it bounced up to $16.29, and then today itself it's gone up a further 8% and is already currently sitting at $20.83. And that is the real potential of space investment at the moment. It is a very, very hot topic, and Cathie Wood has been sniffing around this subject with ARK Invest, and they are in the process of setting up themselves a space ETF that is going to focus on related businesses like reusable rockets, satellites, drones, other orbital or suborbital aircrafts that will transform logistics, observation of agriculture, telecom, drones, and have a massive impact on human lives going forward. So the company itself, ARK Invest, is a reusable rocket company, and ARK Invest will be, and Cathie Wood will of course be sniffing around this one as it gets more momentum behind it and actually starts launching vehicles into space more often than it currently is. That being said, it did achieve its orbital license and test pilot way before any other space company. Now let's have a quick look at the transaction structure and see what's going to happen to this company going forward. So the merger is expected to close before Q2 2021, and the ticker name will be ASTR. The merger is hopefully going to leave the SPAC with $300 million held in a cash trust on a 1-to-3 warrant structure, and PIPE investors are going to invest $200 million of their own money. The enterprise value should be about $2.1 billion with a 3.12 times 2025 adjusted EBITDA. On completion, Astra will receive $489 million in cash going forward to expand its operations, and 100% of the existing shareholder of Astra roll over into the new company, and to hold a super voting stock of 10-1. 78% of the existing Astra shareholders will be of the new company will be Astra shareholders, 14% SPAC and 8% the PIPE investors. Now the management is Chris Kemp, who is the chairman, founder and CEO, who has previously worked with NASA and the presidency of the United States and OpenStack. The CFO, Kaylin Brannon, has worked with Amazon, Arista and Calix, and then the other chairman and CEO and CIO have also worked with some pretty interesting companies as well. So this company, to highlight some really key things, is the first pure play public space company. That is very important. Virgin Galactic isn't quite there yet. SpaceX, well, you're better off investing in Tesla or Google if you want to invest in SpaceX at the moment, but more on SpaceX later. There's a compelling strategy from this company going forward. They're not going to go to Mars or anything like that. They're simply all about getting small satellites into the air in the most economical way possible. So they want to launch a new generation of space services to improve life on Earth. Yes, they're a space company, but they're not looking at getting out into the realms of the universe. They're purely looking at just Earth at the moment. So space is the next economic frontier. There is expected to be $1 trillion of money invested in the space economy by 2040, and 216 billion of this in satellite manufacturing through to 2030. 40 billion in government investment in space projects like spy satellites, imaging for weather, radar, etc. And then there's over 400 plus private space companies in the United States already. And they want to try and achieve certain things. So there's global broadband connectivity, Earth observation, IoT and M2M monitoring billions of objects that are around the Earth's orbit, national security in terms of spy satellites, and then the next generation of weather, GPS and other services that allow us to go along and live our lives exactly how we do now, if not better and faster. So there is a new age coming at the moment with 38,000 satellites set to be built and launched from 2020 to 2029. As you can see, we're just on the cusp of that revolution right now, where there is going to be a huge increase in these satellites needing to get to orbit. So at the moment, what this company is trying to solve is that space is 25 times too expensive or infrequent or too slow to get these satellites into orbit. Astra is aiming to solve that through economies of scale. So they're aiming to have all the infrastructure in place to be able to launch these vehicles as cheaply and as economically as possible and from multiple places in the world. They're aiming to have the best technology available with the least amount of investment required to do so. So they're going to have a global spaceport footprint that are rapid build, can take only 6 months to build, and then they can launch multiple rockets from these sites on a consistent basis. 10 spots have already been identified all over the world. So what they want to do is a mass-produced portable launch system, so these rockets can be launched anywhere, anytime, with a rapid payload delivery within days, launch from anywhere in the world within 24 hours, and be the most affordable for the size of payload that they're trying to achieve. So these modules are going to be integrated, so the factory can mass produce them using economies of scale and mass produce part after part after part, where they can build these rockets in a matter of months and not years. So space services, they're trying to complete constellation management services from a concept to constellation in, again, months, not years, and make it as affordable as possible for private companies, governments and commercial partners to get their satellites where they need to go. This is the key thing. That is the expensive part of space. It's not necessarily making the satellite, it's getting it into orbit in the first place. So the company has a facility that it still has plenty of space to expand into the future, where they have a test site on a 20-acre campus, an assembly area, and then future expansion space as well, which the SPAC capital going forward will give them. So they're currently right on the cusp of getting this started and getting off the ground. They actually managed to get a satellite, get an object into orbit much quicker than any other company in the past. And in December 2020, they demonstrated that orbital capability. So Astra took 4 years, just 4 years to achieve this goal, and that was 3 years faster than SpaceX, which is really some going. And then you've got the likes of Rocket Lab, which was 12 years, and then Virgin Orbit, which was 13 years. So the company has had already some high value customers get involved and say that they want to take advantage and use their product. They have 10 plus customers and 50 launches already on a backlog, over 150 million in contracted revenue already. That is before the SPAC even completes. They have 100 spacecraft already in the backlog, and customers are highly reputable, well funded, and are currently already in orbital operation. For an example of this, you only have to look at NASA's Venture Launch Services contract. They also observed that they have a $1.2 billion pipeline with great diversity in customers and verticals, from broadband, maritime, M2M connectivity, Earth observation, point-to-point and government contracts. The leadership, as we've already touched on already, is very, very experienced in the field, with the CEO actually working with and for NASA at some time, and also with the President of the United States in his history. You've got people like the Chief Engineer in Advanced Projects, Chris Thompson, having worked for SpaceX, Boeing and Virgin Orbit, all competitors to this company, so he's going to bring in some key elements as well. There's also a lot of other experience here. So here's the key milestone of operations. Right now we're obviously in 2021, where they're just trying to get off the ground, but they're looking to build their factory, build out the satellite manufacturing capabilities and the rocket manufacturing services, and start building this up by 2022 into a monthly launch, 2023 into weekly, 2024 a bi-weekly launch, and then in 2025 launching a rocket carrying a satellite with a paying customer every single day, which is absolutely insane revenue for this company. And that is exactly where they're showing their funding going. So initially, of course, because this is an early company, they're going to be in the red for most of the time as they spend their operational expenditure, their capital expenditure, far outweighs any revenue that they're going to get. But as we start to come towards 2024 and 2025, that is when we see the revenue significantly take off, pardon the pun, and start generating some significant profit. And as we can see here, with the intended balance sheet, the launches are going to go from 3 in 2021 through to 300 in 2025, and generating 4 million in revenue in 2021 to 1.1 billion in 2025. So the growth of this company is phenomenal. In terms of the actual ownership of the SPAC, we've again touched on this here, but you can see it in the pie chart here. So 78% will of course be the existing Astra shareholders, 12% the SPAC investors, 8% PIPE investors, and then 3% the SPAC sponsor itself, generating a company that's worth $2.1 billion at closure. So in terms of market valuation, SpaceX has a market valuation, even though it's not listed on the stock market, the company is valued at $46 billion. Relativity, another competitor, 2.3, and Rocket Lab, another one at 1.4. And they've raised an awful lot of capital to date. SpaceX has 5.8 billion in capital raised, Relativity 680 million, and Rocket Lab 257. So if we use those as benchmarks for where this company could get in the next 5 years, bearing in mind that it's only worth 2 billion now and SpaceX is worth well over 46 billion, then if this company gets anywhere near that sort of target that it's going after, then its price sales ratio is just going to go through the roof, and that will obviously mean that the value of the company will go up hugely as well. So its expected compound annual growth rate through 2023 to 2025 is expected at 142%, which is huge in comparison to its competitors that you see here. Exactly the same in its terms of value to revenue, price sales, as I mentioned as well. The transaction represents a significant discount to its peers, based on, it's one of the only ones that you can invest in right now, to be quite frank. Others will come to the market in the end, I'm sure, but this offers a significant discount, and it's a company, a space company, that you can invest in right now. So going forward, the key things to remember are a $1 trillion space economy by 2040, 38,000 satellites need launching between now and then, 40 billion in government contracts for space going forward, 1.2 billion already in the pipeline for this company to potentially earn, as well as $150 million that's already in contracted revenue. So if we just have a quick look at some of the factory images here as well, we've got the fact that it can all be packed up and launched in 6 containers, in 4 standard containers, sorry, and 6 Astra employees to a launch site once the launch sites are already built. That is seriously impressive stuff. And then we can quickly see a lovely little article here that shows just how little it will cost for Astra to launch its services. 300 launches a year, range of orbits unlimited, cost very low, technology readiness available now. And if you have a look at all its competitors, the likes of Virgin Orbit, Relativity, SpaceX, they all do slightly different jobs or are very much more expensive. SpaceX has got its eyes more on the future at getting towards Mars essentially, but as well as providing that internet, that the global internet that Elon Musk has been on about. But it's focused more on going to Mars as its ultimate objective, whereas Astra is all about the here and now Earth. So it's really got its pipeline in order, it knows where it wants to be, it's taking capital right here, right now to get towards there, and the next 5 years are going to be incredible for this company. The press coverage has just started up as well, that you can see from Bloomberg, Space News, Ars Technica, and this company has the potential to go absolutely enormous. When you take away it's going to be after its SPAC and you take where SpaceX is, will it ever achieve the same valuation as SpaceX? Probably not, but even if it gets a quarter of the way there, that generates a massive return on your investment. It's always exciting to present space company stocks to you guys. This one has the huge potential of being the first proper launch vehicle company to arrive on the public stock exchanges. Everything else you can't touch right now. Yes, Virgin Galactic is available, but it's not quite the same thing in my opinion. I really hope you've enjoyed today's video, guys. It'd be absolutely fantastic if you could smash that like button, consider subscribing to this channel. That would be absolutely awesome, and I'll see you in my next investing episode. Catch you later.